Back, everybody, to another edition of PSTV. It's your commission, your co-commish. Everybody say what's up, co-commish.
What up?
All right, all right. And now that we're incorporated into the segments, getting ready for the shits to get down, we're gonna start off with the big news of the league was the co-commish himself selling Nick Chubb for Chubb's first round pick, Nish's second round pick, and Zeke, which seismic shift here. We might see that ripple down later into the show as well. But I mean, Chubb, young guy, a little bit of an injury history, but worth the flyer because you pushing your chips into the table to try and win it all this year with your Travis. And cool kid, saw the writing on the wall, figured, probably better to turn this guy into some good value before I let him, before things change and try to build around Breece Hall and Jamar Chase. So that's what it looks like from our end as spectators. But as somebody who was in that mix, cool kid, what was your thinking on that trade?
Yeah, no, it was a tough call to make. I mean, obviously, you always want your team to be there for playoffs. I think I could have made that playoff push if I really tried. Like it's been close, but man, I was just looking at Chili, Travis, and those other 7-3 teams, and it's just tough, man. It's tough, and I know that I don't want to be a middle of the pack team these next coming years, and I think I do need to make sure that I have a future team moving forward. If not, make a push next year. I definitely want to make that push for one of those top spots, and I think next year's my year. I agree with what you just said. I mean, it's pretty much kind of the same thought process. Zeke, I think he does have one more year in him. I think he could potentially have a Chubb year next year. It'll be tough, but obviously you always got what's his name? Jerry Jones.
Oh.
Yeah. you always got Jerry Jones like propping him up. So I think he's still got one good year in him, and I think that'll be his Chubb year. I always see Kareem Hunt taking over those carries. It's just tough to watch. Chubb has been performing, but it's just I don't know if they continue this streak. So I was like, you know what? So I did see the writing on the wall, and those picks look good to me. So Esteban and Nish, quit winning it.
Stop.
Nish, too
Stop.
good. Stop it. But no, yeah, that's basically what my thought process was. It was tough to do, but it was something that had to be done.
Okay, no, got a lot of respect for that. I've been toying with it all season. You deciding to tank forced me to try to stay in the playoff hunt because you're right. There's no real benefit to being in the middle. So you either want like one of the very first couple picks, or you want probably. I mean, it's in theory, right? It's all of our first year in Dynasty, save for Travis.
Yeah.
So we think we either want to be on the extremes. You never know when it comes to the playoffs. The 6th seed could beat the 1 seed because of bullshit.
Yeah.
You never know, but it's going to be interesting to see kind of figuring out everybody's preferences. Like 3 years down the line, are we going to find out that like, yeah, cool kid always wants to be in the extreme. If he's a 4 or 5 seed, he's ready to trade, or the opposite, or maybe it's like you did it once, you didn't like it, so now you're always trying to push. Who knows what the for everybody. So good little filler out trade, and something we don't have to fill out is the top of the power rankings because it's obvious. It just, you put anybody in front of him right now and he's steamrolling. Chili Bowl comes in at number 1 at the top of the charts. This is already 9 wins for him, 9-1 on the season, and he's got a big matchup that we'll talk about later this week with somebody who has historically been in our top 3. Does he make his debut at number 2, or do we have a Bad Wolf sighting at number 2, Kokamish?
We do not have a Bad Wolf sighting. It's Travis, and he's been performing at the top. He's got those Eagles. Eagles gonna fly. Made that move with me to pick up Chubb. His team's only getting stronger, and he's, because of that move, I feel like has made it to retain that number 2 spot.
I agree. I think that Chubb move is big for moving chips into his favor, and Bad Wolf
Hmm.
just lost Cooper Cup, so I that's a huge swing in talent.
That's huge swing. Yeah.
So I and the records are the same, and Trav's been on a roll. I totally agree, and that's Bad Wolf doesn't fall far. He goes down to 3. The wins are gonna push him into the playoffs no matter what. So now it's kind of just him figuring out how to reshuffle his roster in a way that makes sense for him to still contend in the playoffs without Cup. So
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting to see how
Hmm.
that goes down. Um, and coming in at 4, who do we have?
You got Nish like fish. He's been rolling with those
Dolphins.
Dolphins. Unfortunately, he faced a hot Chili Bowl. I mean, it was a tough matchup. Had him close though. It was like right there. It was a fucking good matchup, like I think we expected it to be. But 8 points, man, it's tough. It's really tough. Really, and it's unfortunate because you would have expected those Hill and Waddle to actually go off a little bit more, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose some, and yeah, I mean that's where it's at, and I think he deserves that number 4 spot because I mean I don't think anyone else has really kept been that close against Chili Bowl in terms of winning other than myself. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No, you're right. You're right. Um, so next up is at 5, we have auto drafting Fugly, who I'm speaking in
Mhm.
his lineup right now too while we're talking about Nish. And he's a cat with 9 lives, man. I mean, um, he's had to go through a lot. He's made some good trades that have kind of kept his season afloat here.
Mhm.
But you look at that depth, that roster is not deep at all. So he's been really doing a lot of like mixing and matching to get to this. I
Mhm.
think is he 5-5 right now? Yeah, to stay five and
Yeah, he's
five.
5-5.
And I
Yep.
look down the line and I see Keontae Ingram. I'm like how that
Like,
like how did that
bruh.
fell from right out of the sky? Because like who knew Benjamin was gonna get cut? Now Keontae likely the backup.
Mhm.
Connor
Yeah.
is, I mean, he could get hurt any given week. That's just his history. So
Mhm.
watch Keontae turns into a piece for him and he starts making the playoff push. So that is interesting. But yeah, I mean he's got you this week and you're dealing with some injuries on top of the big
Yeah.
injuries you had earlier. So I think, you know, he might be okay this week. So he's hanging on by a thread, likely going to still be okay. We'll see if he has enough juice to stave off number 6. Who comes in at number 6?
You, the commish himself, making that playoff run. He's not giving up yet. He's got the team. He's got Fields finally paying off for him. Man, it's
I'm not
just
gonna lie.
that really relying on that Bears team. What's
I
up? What's up? What were we thinking?
I
What were we thinking there?
I feel like giving up when I lose to the GOAT, man, because
That was
I thought I
rough,
had that
man.
in the bag, and Kirk went crazy. I mean, I was kind of already expecting for Taylor to come back and have a good week. I thought I'd be able to survive that, but Kirk killed me, man. I mean,
Mhm.
the difference between Kirk and forgetting to take more out of the lineup, I already want to pull my fucking head out. But like the whole, not just my hair,
Yeah,
the whole thing.
the
Um,
whole thing.
but I have enough points for that. I'm still like okay. I'm probably gonna still make the playoffs, but
Mhm.
if I handle my business and get the wins, but man, you
Yeah,
say 6, and I feel like I'm 10. Like that's how low I feel after
yeah.
that week.
It's tough, man. It's a tough situation to be in.
Nope, nope, it is, and you know, we'll see if the after this week I feel better, and maybe some of these matchups go my way. The first one of interest is going to be the before mentioned auto drafting Fugly and Cool Kid matchup. So we talked about what if Keontae Ingram proves pivotal? He might, especially because on the flip side, you're not sure if Zeke's gonna play. And
Yeah.
you need all hands on deck. Jamal Williams sick too. So that's going to be interesting
Hmm.
when you're going up against a team that's got CMC and Henry. You got to be able to bring it.
Yeah.
Those receivers are rough, but you know, maybe they work out for him. So this is going to be an interesting one. I'm leaning auto right
It's gonna be
now,
close.
but I think it is going to be closer than it probably seems from a distance. What do you got?
Yeah, and I mean, I got myself. Sorry, I got myself losing. I obviously like kind of like I'm not gonna tank. I'll still try to be a ball buster. I still have a shot at playoffs, actually, surprisingly enough, even after that last loss. Um, See what happens, you know? Like you could see that first round pick going out the window if I do see that I have a playoff shot and potentially maybe in a we'll see what happens. I am rolling with Otto. I think he's honestly like the two big pivotal pieces that he has over me is really that that quarterback and that top end running back. So I see him pulling away, but there's always a shot. Oh wait, he has CMC too. Yeah, no, it's Auto. It's definitely
It's
auto draft.
a wrap.
It's a wrap. Just call it. No, like it can be close. I can see a situation where it'll be close, but I think auto takes it.
Okay. And another one that, man, I don't know. I never know how to predict Josh's matchups because, like, I should expect for him to score low. I should. But then I see the lineup and I'm like, well, there's a world. There's a world where he puts up 100, and
Yeah.
it's like this fucking poison. It's in the universe. I don't know. But that's the next one we're gonna talk about. We're talking about Josh. We're talking about Goat. Um,
Hmm.
Based on last week, I'm gonna pick Goat, but it's not because he doesn't have some tough matchups. I mean, Philly is an interesting one. You can run on Philly, but can Indy run on Philly because their line has been horrible. Last week it was good. I don't know if that trend continues. And
Yeah.
then, are you going to be able to get anything out of Swift? Maybe you will if Jamal Williams is actually out. So I don't know. I'm leaning that way.
Yeah.
Who do you
Yeah.
got?
That'll be an interesting one. Um, like I personally have Jay Molly winning this. Surprisingly, obviously, these playoff or these predictions say that Jay Molly has like that 51%. I think it comes down to shit. Daniel Jones really like. I don't think he goes off against Detroit. I know they're giving up points
Everyone
to
does. Yeah.
everyone, but for some reason, oh no, there is a reason. It's because obviously, like they just need to run the ball. You don't need a pass against Detroit.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that's
Daniel could
basically what
run
it
though.
comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Daniel can run, but do you really need him to if Saquon's going to be getting
Nah.
you a first down every single time?
Come on,
Like,
Saquon. Come on. I got him in another league. I
yeah,
need
but
that.
but that's what it really comes down to for me. I think they're fairly even. I don't love Najee, but I mean Swift. I think he it's looking like they've been easing him in. This might be the week that he actually has way more touches, obviously because of that little injury to Jamal and Jonathan Taylor might be back, but I don't believe in it yet. And I'm giving the slight edge to Josh. I think he has the wide receiver pieces that are going to make a big difference. I think I like his wide receivers better. That's what it's coming down to.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody who we liked his wide receivers better last week than this week. Bad Wolf has a matchup against me. He's without Cooper Cup. I think I'm without Travis Etienne this week, who's been on a tear too. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm missing a couple running backs too. So I'm a little bit more hurt by the bye. He's more hurt by the injury bug. Neither of us have a full roster. So this could go either way. I'm going to pick me. I'm going to speak into existence. I think just some of the guys I have rough matchups. I mean, Stevenson and Kamara do not have great matchups this week. But neither does Cook, neither does Pierce. So
Yeah.
if all that's the same, then it's all about flyers and whose flyers have a better shot to hit. I think the rest of my flyers have a better shot to hit for a high upside. I think, so I'm going me,
Mhm.
but I could see it going literally any direction with as many pieces as we're both missing right now. What do you got?
Yeah, no, and I agree with you there. It's going to come down to the Flyers, and right now, I I think we had a news break, right, where Brandon Cooks might be injured, and I'm looking at his backup wide receivers. Maybe I like Treylon Burks if he puts him in there. And I mean, shit, he just lost his tight end too, dude. He lost Ertz. That's something that we kind of forgot there. So
Oh
I
yeah.
think I had Bad Wolf, but I'm switching over to you just because it is coming down. I do agree with you that it's coming down to the Flyers. Brandon Cooks just got. I mean, he's questionable, and even if he plays, I don't think he's gonna do much. So I'm gonna give it to you. Actually, I'm gonna speak it into existence as well, and I think you take this win.
I need it. I needed it when they stay in the playoff push. Um, shit. Something else we need is you need no, we both need Niche to win, actually. You need it for the pick.
Basically.
I need it for my playoff protections. So I'm gonna speak it into existence. I'm not even gonna say the matchup stuff. I'm just gonna say I think Nish wins because I think Nish wins. When you look at a Nish, you think Fish is a strong smell. He's a strong man with a
Mhm.
strong team.
Yeah, yeah.
Chubs are little and diminutive in stature, so just
Yeah.
for these purely scientific and factual statistical reasons, I pick Nish, and not looking at his quarterback or receivers at all um, without the buy. But the buy is rough, man. Realistically,
It's really rough.
I'm gonna pick Nish because I'm gonna try to speak it into existence. But I know this is a big opportunity for Chubb right now with all the buys over on the other side of the field. Who do you have?
Yeah, yeah. I need Nish to win. I'm gonna do the opposite of speaking into existence. I'm gonna hopefully pick one, and the opposite ends up getting
Nice.
ends up winning. So that's what I'm going with. And I mean I do like Chubb's team a little bit better. I You can never bet on Russell Wilson. And I
Yeah.
mean I guess he's riding today because he's got Sutton, he's got Wilson in this matchup. So he's all about riding, and I'm not all about getting on that pony at all. So yeah, I McLaurin's on the come up, and he's against Houston. Debo Samuel. I mean, you can never bet against the guy, and he's playing against Arizona on a Monday night game. It should be a good game in Mexico City, and I think it's Mexico. And then Mariota, I think, has the edge here against. I guess it's the Bears. So, and obviously he's got Eckler. I don't think who's his best running back right now. No one really. So
Jacobs.
I think yeah, Jones and Eckler out definitely outperform Foreman and Jacobs at least this week. So I think that's going to be making too much a big difference. And I like McLaurin better than Samuel. So yeah, I think Little Chubb takes it. Do I want it to happen? No.
Damn. All right. Well, that's that's a split right there. I think we're gonna be on the same page on this one. We just hyped up our boy Trav because of his trade. Um, that said, he's got some buys this week, so I think those buys are gonna be real crucial or critical without Ken
Mm,
Walker. Um, Injury to Goddard, it's looking
yeah,
no
that
Kate
was tough.
Otten. It's going to be a rough week for him, and
Mhm.
I think we've said it before. If not, I'll say it now: is you cannot afford to go up against Chili Bowl and not have your roster. Like you really can't miss anywhere because he's except for the quarterback, he's solid everywhere. So that's your one opportunity to beat him, which Hurts can do that, but across the rest of the lineup, it's a little thin. And so I'm gonna pick Chili Bowl here, and I think it's gonna be a I think yeah I think they're both gonna score 100. I just think it's gonna be Chili Bowl who gets the last say. Do you kind of see the
Yeah,
same thing happening?
I mean, yeah, I totally see the same thing. I see Chile taking it this week. I wish they both had the full rosters just to get a potential preview at like what
Chip? Yeah.
playoffs would look like the chip would look like. Um, I guess we'll just have to find out then. But it's unfortunate that Travis isn't doesn't have his full roster. Unfortunately, lost Goddard. Luckily, he'll have time before his potential rematch against Chile, and we'll see if Stoll is the guy. But I I I just got to give it to Chile. His team's just damn good.
It is. No, it's
Yeah,
good.
team's good.
I mean, he's number one for a reason. That roster is
Yep.
nice. All
Really
right,
nice.
guys. I mean, very nice. That'll do it for this week, guys. So we appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of PSTV. And it's been your commish and your co-commish, and we're out. Peace.
Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriend.